Hey guys, it's Will. Hopefully you're having a great day today. Quantum Computing Inc. QUBT is making waves today with an impressive 16% recovery, but the big question remains, is it just a short-term recovery or are we witnessing the start of a bigger trend reversal? In this video, we'll dive into what's driving QUBT's rally, analyze the fundamentals, the technicals, financials, go through a three-step process that we normally go through with every stock. So let's jump into it. Hopefully you guys are having a great day today. Again, there's a three-step process that we go through. We talk about first the markets. Second, we go into the analysis. So that's going to be the actual financials as well as the technicals and the news. And then number three, what does the profit potential look like? What's the risk look like? And that is number three, which is our plan. Now, when it comes to the market here for QUBT, we're talking about a market that's growing at an impressive rate. Quantum computing market is projected to grow from 1.2 billion that it's at currently to 12 billion by 2032. But that compounded annual growth rate of nearly 35% could carry these stocks. But when I was just at CES, they were saying that the quantum computing industry is a $3 to $5 trillion industry, and that if we reach that potential of full-scale utility across companies using quantum computers, then it could be in that $3 to $5 trillion industry. So the industry is good. We're talking about quantum computing here. If you guys want to stay up to date with AI, quantum, space tech, as well as big tech, then I'll encourage you to subscribe. And if you want to watch me trade live, we just wrapped up our session this morning going over and trading Rigetti stock, which is up 52%. Our portfolio is up 31% today. If you guys want to see those live trades at market open, it's that second link down below. That's StockMate. I encourage you guys to take a look. So let's take a look here. QUBT. When we're looking at this chart here, you see this previous support and resistance that we saw back here. This was a previous support or previous resistance, acted as a support before that last bull run, and then it was acting as a support right here, as you see after that recent sell-off. Now what happened today, we can see it start to push up above that EMA, now retesting that 200-day moving average. And if it does bounce here at this previous level, this bounce right here could be clear indication that we're going to see what could be a reversal. And kind of how that looks for QUBT is that we'd see it push up to just this first level in order to break through. You can see where it is. We're between here and here. And so that level right there is a 16% increase. We'd have to get to that $8 to 20 cents range, or $8.90, excuse me. And then if you look up here, this is kind of that next resistance. Break above this previous support, we'd have to continue up. That right there would be a 44% increase. If it breaks above that, then we're holding above that EMA, we're holding above the SMA, and we're starting to look quite bullish. So we'll have to see if it can continue this direction, because right now it almost looks like it's reversing. But as we know, you could have said the same thing right here with this pullback that we saw back after that drop on January 8th. So, we'd have to see if it holds this level on the technicals. If it does, and it does continue, it breaks up to previous highs, or even let's say up to, half as high, up to this previous consolidation that we saw back here throughout December, then that would be 125% increase, right? So these are drops that when they happen on a big scale because they're across the entire quantum space. And when they recover big. And so that's something you have to take into account, right? So the technicals look that way. So we're in the analysis phase. The other thing we want to look at is the news. So we know that they are partnered with NASA. We know that they recently had a big, let's just start with the NASA. But they recently had a really big order for some photonic chips, which we'll talk about. So quantum computing, let's see here. They were awarded this NASA contract back in December of just 2024. And it was a Dirac 3 photonic optimization solver. So you can see QCI, Quantum Computing Inc., is proud to support NASA in this critical mission to process large volumes of interferometric imaging data more efficiently. So the project's goal is to demonstrate how QCI's Dirac-3 can address the phase unwrapping problem and allow NASA to compare the results and benefits of QCI's quantum optimization technology with the state-of-the-art algorithms running on classical computers. So essentially running some algorithms, maybe using AI potentially through classical computers into these quantum computers to potentially solve some high level, unwrap some big data, you can see, to address the phase unwrapping problem and allow us to compare results and benefits technology with their state-of-the-art classical computers. So they're saying we're going to run and we're going to see how well it can solve some of these problems that we're dealing with. I believe that they're going to compare that to how they're solving the problems with the classical computers and see, how well the quantum computers stack up against classical computers, maybe in their ability to solve. Now, what we know is that classical computers run in tandem with qubits, with quantum computers, but that they have a much greater solving capacity. For example, you might solve a high-level chemical reaction with classical computers, but when you want to get down to the ionic level and see how the electrons are moving and things like that, and really be able to solve down to the molecular ionic level, you use a quantum computer to solve bigger problems that have a lot more data that you can narrow down to smaller answers, essentially. And so that is a big thing. That probably makes sense. So why they had this big order potentially. So you could see, I think it was TF LN. It was the photonic chip with QUBT. Let's see what they have here. Here we go. Quantum computing secures first order for TFL and photonic chip foundry. So these are basically these thin film lithium niobates photonic chip technology from a research institute that they work with in Asia. And this is a big milestone. Some people see this like, wow, that's pretty like technical. I don't really understand. Well, what are you talking about here? Well, this marks basically a milestone for the company's foundry services because they're seeing some deliveries into early 2025, and you can see this is a bill, and it's a let's see, the growing global demand for QCI's advanced fabrication technology of TFLN and its ability to produce high-performance photonic integrated circuits and nanophotonic devices. This milestone highlights QCI's commitment to accelerating the widespread adoption of TFLN, positioning it as a vital component in the future telecom, datacom, and quantum landscape. A really good example was this company that, and it's a little bit different, but when you get into the fabrication of these circuits and talking about photonic integrated circuits, there was this company that I saw at CES recently where they have this like quantum sensor that's up on a satellite, and you send down like LiDAR down to the earth, and then what reflects back, it's able to basically in an instant, like as soon as the LiDAR gets back, process all of the data that it just got in from that LiDAR scan and essentially have a scan of the earth like very quickly. And the only way it's possible is with these quantum chips that are able to process 10,000 times more than what you'd see GPUs process, right? So that is a big deal for QCI. You see those deliveries. It's been really volatile, right? We look down here, the volatile nature of quantum computing is absolutely going to play a key role in what we'd see here for QUBT across the whole market. You see that volatility, but also there's a reason for it. You have this increase, it starts to become not so technically sound, and then we see it pull back and it almost looks more technically sound now. It's like maybe this is a trend that we're going to start to see slowly develop over time, and that's kind of healthy. But on top of that, part of the reason why it recently pulled back was their financials. So let's just jump into that C, right? We got A, B, and C of the analysis. We go into the technicals, then we go into the news and the fundamentals, which we touched on here, and then now we're going into what are the financials, and next we'll be talking about the next kind of plan, what we see here. So again, QUBT stock financials, and let's take a look. So share price $7.43. We saw it surge over 13, almost 14% today. Year over year looks quite promising, and that was something we saw because their net income was negative 5.6 million, right? But that's actually an improvement in 2023. At the same time, in 2023, they had an $8.2 million loss. So they actually are improving year over year, 17%. Their revenue's up 100%, 102%. The industry growth could play a role in that, but you also see their net profit margins starting to go up. They're in this development stage, and that's what happens. There's going to be limited revenue streams. We look for where are they plugging in to businesses that they're going to see a financial output, a revenue growth on QUBT. So a lot of the stock prices, you guys can go and we don't do this, but if you look on here, you can see the Motley Fool, like all these articles that are like, it's going to this, here's a price target, here's how much, did you know it's going crazy? And we don't really read those articles just because of the difference in realistic valuations, and that while we're trading on the day, while we might be doing a short-term trade, we still want the real value to be there. And but some of the price targets are in that $12 range, some of them are in that $15 range, which makes sense, especially after that $20 or $27 height that we saw there before pulling back to $7. But we'll see what happens with this pullback. It's going to be quite interesting. That financial side of things looks good. It's indicating more of a buy. That RSI, the MACD, when we drop it down on a little bit longer term, you can see starting to see that MACD, that RSI looking like a buy on the long term. So then that short term, the near term trades could look more favorable. Even on this 4 hour, you could see down to here, RSI, MACD looking like a buy. Something to keep it in mind though is that it is still not breaking above some of those indicators to indicate bullish momentum in its entirety. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be getting into it. We will be looking at market open to see what happens. If you guys would like to watch me trade live at market open, get a chance to surround yourself with other traders and investors. Tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, we're going to be going and hopefully taking advantage of some of these opportunities if they present themselves at market open. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If I earned your like, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video. QUBT is one that we'll be staying tuned with. Motivational. All right, here it is. There's this guy, his name's Eric Thomas, and he talks about how when you go into the ocean with the mentor is like drowning him and doesn't let him get up, and then the guy works really hard to eventually get out to get a breath of air, and then the guy's like, what are you doing? I thought you were going to teach me how to be successful, not drown me and try and kill me. And the guy was like, well, this is an important lesson. He's like, you did whatever it took to breathe, right? And he's like, yeah, because I was going to die. And he's like, exactly. So you have to treat your success the same way. You have to want to be successful as badly as you want to breathe.
Oh my God. John C. Maxwell said something like that too.
Yeah, so that book was there. That might be a good one.
All right. So each book is $2. The ones that are hard, I don't know how to say it.
Hard copy? Hardcover?
If they're soft, they're $1.
Okay. Well, I think that it's more than $1 worth of value, so let's do it.
Oh yeah, totally. That's what I'm letting you know. The price is really good. I feel like I just spent like $16 on like 10 books more.
Right. How much money is it going to make us?
Double.
You think it's only going to make us $30?
These are books that take a little bit longer than others, but I think that
think
that by our 30s, we're rich, but we're also smart.
sounds good, baby. Let's make it happen.
Also, babe, I'll get that book